Ever wondered why property always seems overpriced? In most cases, that's probably because you're too late, especially in Dubai, where, let's face it, not so many understand the areas, check actual transactional data, or even have a slight idea of which developer is actually keeping up their promises. Everyone wants to know where the smart money is going next in Dubai real estate, and thinks every launch should, in theory, make sense. But by the time most investors figure it out, it's either too late or they get burnt. Prices are up, inventory is gone, mistakes are made, and the window has closed. So in this video, I'm giving you a head start. These, in my opinion, and from my own investor experience, are the 5 hottest neighborhoods for 2026. Whether you're buying off-plan, ready, or looking to rent out short or long term, I'll break down exact sub areas, projects, pricing, and the strategy behind each pick. Plus some critical tips and bonus areas that most agents won't ever tell you. And guys, again, I'm a property investor. I don't get any commission whatsoever for sharing these insights. They are all my own, and I'm not selling you any project. So if you like this approach and want to support the channel, only thing I ask in return is to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Tilal Al Ghaf by Majid Al Futtaim, or simply MAF, has become one of Dubai's most desirable communities for villas, centered around the stunning Lagoon Al Ghaf. It offers a resort-style, waterfront community and lifestyle with ultra-luxury villas and townhouses. In communities like Alaya or Elysian Mansions, Harmony, or Serenity. If you want to be located in a pretty central location with extensive greenery around you, cycling and walking trails, large parks, and even dedicated F&B zones, moreover schools and an upcoming mall, then this area could be interesting for you. And obviously it's more on the upper scale. However, if you're looking for your own villa, your own home, and also with something that will definitely, in my opinion, at least appreciate in value over the time, then you should definitely check out the villas available in this community. Villa prices range on community side or on the plot. For example, 4-bedroom villas in Harmony are starting for 4.5 million dirhams. On the other end, the Elysian Mansions are starting from 18 million dirhams, while the launches at Alaya Gardens was at around 11 plus million dirhams. If we look at Property Finder, we see multiple offers in those areas with sizes from 2,000 square foot to even 3,000 square foot for around 4 to 6 million dirhams, which I think it's a pretty good value for money. Honestly, an area that I wouldn't consider back in the past. However, most of my clients were actually popping up with questions about this specific area and also its sister location, the Ghaf Woods, which is exactly why I also want to mention that, because for those who are interested in apartments, then that could be something really interesting for you that will also have some good capital appreciation, at least from what I've seen happening there with so much demand from many of you guys who are reaching out to me. Not so far from Tilal Al Ghaf, right next to it, MAF has launched the Ghaf Woods, which is a forest living apartment concept, which brings the same more or less premium format, but in more of a vertical scale, because these are apartments. Clusters like Glacina, Sarah, and Celia feature apartments that are surrounded by more than 35,000 trees. And if you know something about Dubai, it's that it doesn't really have any greenery. So this is quite a new concept and a pretty cool one. It's located in Dubai Land near the Global Village, so it's really well interconnected with every single location. Also, it's not too far from Al Barari, which is another green hotspot. Community includes outdoor wellness decks, water features, cycling tracks, and forest-edged plazas. And while Tilal Al Gaf was more of a premium upscale solution by MAF, in Gaf Woods, on the contrary, the apartments are more affordable and are targeted at more of a mass market, let's say it. One-bedroom apartments starting from 1.2 million dirhams, and I think nowadays they're already going up, while two-bedroom units at around 2.53 million dirhams. Completion, at least for the Wasina phase, is expected in Q4 2027, and many more other launches will follow through. The area honestly is perfect for families and anyone who's seeking more of a natural solution to Dubai's deserts, sustainable long-term investors interested in apartment living tied to nature, and also mostly in long-term rental contracts. Buyers who want resort-style community living with strong capital appreciation upside. So it's mainly for the actual long-term residents of Dubai, and for you as an investor, you have to target exactly those. So if you're planning to do Airbnb, most probably this is not the best community for you. However, it could work as well, considering that this is a pretty new and pretty cool alternative to everything that's offered in Dubai with the skyscrapers and so on. You might be targeting also short-term stayers that are coming for 2 weeks or 3 weeks on business and just want to live outside the downtown or just the bustle of the actual inner city. Here's a bonus area nearby. If you're exploring Gaf Woods, you should absolutely have the Wilds by Aldar on your radar too. Located in the same Dubai Land Global Village corridor, the Wilds is Aldar's first major community in Dubai and is targeting eco-conscious buyers. And we all know that Aldar is actually an Abu Dhabi-based developer, so I don't know how this project is going to unveil. However, judging just by the projects and by the quality that they have provided in Abu Dhabi, this could be something really interesting. Botanical parks, wellness zones, organic retail concepts, and car-free parking, and not only, but also car-free clusters where you can actually walk and so on, all in a same sustainable kind of forest location. I'd say this place is more for those who are looking at really well-priced villas with 3 bedrooms beginning at 5.1 million dirhams, at least at the launch phase, 4 beds at approximately 6 million, and I would expect a little bit higher nowadays. And of course, we have Ravenna Mansions with 5 beds pushing 10 plus million dirhams, depending on plot size and facing, obviously. It's really positioned for high capital appreciation, but you'll of course need a serious budget. Long hold timelines, so don't rush into resale. Handover is actually in 2029, and again, consider service charges and liquidity very carefully. So if you're a buyer in this segment, you're looking mainly for long-term rental contracts as a investor, or you're also looking for some resale with good capital appreciation, then I believe Gaf Woods and the Wilds are some of the actually most overlooked locations by many, although I know that you would say and challenge me probably that there are so many buyers and demand in those areas, which again, those who know will know. But for anyone who didn't hear about these projects, I think it's a good time to check them out. Number 2 is Dubai Maritime City, and here I'm mainly speaking about apartments, off-plan specifically, and cash resales. Dubai Maritime City is finally coming to life. Positioned near Port Rashid, it offers sea views, luxury towers, and a very good city connectivity. I mean, the place is actually not so big, so when it's actually going to be completed, the value will be pushed up. Also, because it's facing the waters, it will definitely be more in demand. And even nowadays, there are already a couple of buildings and restaurants and so on happening around the area, so you can see that people are actually starting to go there, at least more often than they used to be, because you'll again probably challenge me and say that people were going there every single time. There is Flat 12 as well, and there are many other cafes, and there is water sports, so many things are already happening there, but I can see more traction. It's mainly a play for off-plan buyers and cash investors who are looking for below market deals, if we speak about some distressed deals or resales that you can maybe take at just full cash buying and being able to leverage that position to get the best value out of the deal. Strategic waterfront access is hyper important in Dubai nowadays, and there is long-term potential due to the underdevelopment everywhere. Some of the top developers that are active here include the Danube with Oceans by the Danube, Select Group with a couple of buildings in the same kind of concept as 15 Northside in Business Bay, which is already completed, and I've mentioned it a couple of times on this channel, so you can check out the videos about Business Bay. And there's also Omniat with really high quality projects, and I really like them as a developer overall, so you definitely have to check that out. However, again, as an investor, I care mainly and actually only about the numbers because this is what will make or break the deal. So in this case, I'm not really looking at launches. I'm mainly looking at resale. If you can grab some really good deals, maybe someone really needs to sell their investment, then you could really come in and play your hand very nicely if you're a cash buyer. Off-plan one-bedrooms were starting at around 1.3 to 1.6 million dirhams. However, secondary resales can sometimes be actually below the launch price at even 1.1 million dirhams, especially distressed deals if you're cash ready. And again, this doesn't happen every day, but if you're looking at the market, you are just tracking it daily, then you could definitely be one of those lucky cash buyers who can get and grab those deals. So what do you need to watch for? Construction timelines and realistic handover dates are very important because let's face it, that area is kind of all under construction. So now you're not going to hit the market with basically high rental prices because most of the people who want to live there, they want to live there and move when everything is over, when they don't have all the noise and construction surrounding them every single day. You need to check for maintenance and service fee projections. And of course, very important, you need to check for the developer reputation and history in completing the waterfront projects because they're quite different from the inland ones. This is an area that could really boom if the Dubai Cruise Terminal plus the surrounding features of the whole infrastructure master plan matures fully by 2027-2028. Now, if you have a bigger budget and you're looking into other types of off-plan villas that will really bump up your capital appreciation, then you need to check out Nadal Sheba. For those who are looking for strong, really strong capital appreciation, but you have to have a bigger budget, Nadal Sheba Gardens by Miraz is worth totally your attention. I mean, generally anything that's launched by Miraz, which is one of the best quality developers in Dubai. We've seen this in City Walk, Blue Waters, and some DIFC buildings. That's really, really high quality. So you will definitely have the buyers who are rushing in straight away. There's freehold ownership, 3 to 6 bedroom villas, green, low density master plan with an amazing location. You're connected to literally everything in Dubai. Next to Maidan, downtown Dubai access, even to Dubai Creek Harbor, it takes around 10 minutes. So if I'm checking now the latest info that I got from my agency connections, the Nadal Sheba Gardens Phase 8 are actually priced at around 15.9 million dirhams for a 5-bedroom villa, and the EOI amount is actually 500,000 dirhams. So while they might have launched at around 5 to 8 million dirhams for the other phases in the past, now the prices are really, really going up. However, for the 3 and 4 bedrooms, we are still seeing more reasonable prices. 3-bedroom at around 4.8 starting price, and 4-bedroom villas in the range of 6 to 9 million dirhams. However, I might assume that most of these are already sold, and probably it's gonna be really difficult to find anything at those prices nowadays. And that is exactly what I meant, and a very good example of the capital appreciation that I'm speaking about even after the launch. While I don't want to say that you need to target this and you need to basically just buy and then sell it after the launch or the few months after the launch, that's not really the most strategic play. It still makes it very attractive and it gives you some really good leverage to exit your investment, which is not the easiest investment to exit because you're not just gonna find a 6 million dirham buyer every single minute. But in that case specifically, with Miraz, I think it's a bit easier than with the other developers. So what makes it attractive for real? Central location with downtown prices, but for villas, not for apartments. Proximity to Meydan 1, Resalhor Wildlife Sanctuary, and a family community with good road access. And speaking about those who can grab those really hot deals for you, since I'm an investor and I'm not tied to any of these developers, our partner Silver Springs Properties is one of those agencies who have consistent access to these latest launches. They know how to identify units that make investor sense, not just marketing hype and selling for the sake of selling. So if you want to navigate this community in Nad Al Sheba or any other, I highly recommend reaching out to Silver Springs. Nazir and team will guide you through the whole process wisely. They will analyze all the numbers together and they will source you the best deal from the developer directly. And if you ever need tailored advice based on your budget and goals, use the link in the description to book a 101 strategy call with me or explore my full advisory packages. This might surprise you, but Motor City is making a comeback. Mainly, I chose this area for ready and off-plan for specifically rental play in the apartment scene. Why? Lower price points with JVC or Arjan, well-developed infrastructure and parks, Dubai Autodrome, which gives you a unique short-term rental angle, since many people will come specifically for that, good schools and community nearby. So what's the property strategy that I see in this area? Mainly buying 1 or 2 bedroom ready units, or if you have a smaller amount of capital and are likely to wait for the project to be completed, then definitely consider off-plan. Nevertheless, Airbnb and monthly rentals will be something very interesting in this location, but of course, a long-term rental is always welcome. Target expats or short-term visitors that are very much into racing, different events, or just suburbs that are more family-oriented and are more quiet. The pricing of a 1-bedroom is in around the range of 800,000 dirhams to 1.2 million dirhams. 2-bedroom resale is at about 1.2 to 1.6 million dirhams. Some off-plan new launches are good and they do exist, but really do your due diligence because not all of them will make sense. The main developer that is basically building off-plans in this area is of course Shoba with their project Shoba Solis and Orbis. However, again, do your due diligence, check the actual deal, if it actually makes sense for you to get in there, and if you have the cash ready or there is a ready property that you can get a mortgage on, that might make more sense for you. Motor City generally offers solid net ROI potential of around 7% with tenant stability and far less hyped pricing than most other off-plan zones. If you're unsure how to break into this space and how to find actual deals that make sense, maybe on the ready market in specific, and especially if you're a cash buyer and you have that leverage to use it towards getting that best deal, then definitely check my sourcing service in the link in the description, where I personally research the whole market and off-market deals and find the right property within your budget, most cases much under your budget. No commission, no bias, no affiliation. I have a fixed fee for every service and you will get exactly what you're looking for. So check the links in the description and hope to source you a best deal. Last but not least important is District 1 in MBR City. While I mentioned some off-plans and ready for apartments and villas, in this specific case, I'm mainly referring to ready or near completion units. District 1 is one of the most luxurious yet accessible areas for long-term and Airbnb potential. Some of the key features besides its location, which is really well connected to anything in Dubai. It's just 5 minutes or so drive from Business Bay and downtown Dubai. It has a crystal lagoon, which is already done, and honestly, it looks stunning. I've personally been there and I've checked a few apartments. At that time, when I was there a few years ago, they were not really completed, so the area was kinda in half construction. That's why I didn't really look into it as much. But right now, for most of the units and projects that are actually completed or near completion, these are something really good that you don't have to miss. 7 kilometers of man-made beaches. Like, I didn't check it, I didn't measure it, but if they say so, that's quite impressive. It's mainly built by the main developers, which is the Meydan Group, primary developer who built in partnership also with Ellington and Shoba. Some of the mid-rise inventory actually comes from Ellington and some from Shoba. Both of these developers are known for good quality, good projects, especially Shoba. Recently, they've launched some of really interesting projects in the off-plan space, not only in that area, in any of the other ones that I've mentioned, also the Motor City one. Again, some of those, as in the deals, might have not been the best because, of course, the launch prices, they always go up and they are like manipulated by everything possible. So you definitely need to check the numbers and make sure that the deal actually makes sense for you, even in the good projects. But generally, the current pricing for a one-bedroom apartment in that space is 1.6 to 2 million dirhams, which is completed or just near completion. Villas and mansions, well, they are stunning, and most probably this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, places for an actual mansion. It just looks incredible. You have the downtown view, you have all the lagoon surrounding you, a very nice walk just from villa to villa. If you just go there for a walk, I'm sure you will enjoy it. Maybe not now in September, it's too hot outside, but if you go for a walk later on this year, you will definitely see what I mean. And that exactly justifies the prices of villas and mansions that is starting from around 14 million dirhams. So why is this area so hot? Strong luxury rental demand, especially for the apartments in NBR, proximity to most of the places, and especially Ras Al Khor area, which interconnects Dubai Creek Harbor, downtown, the wildlife sanctuary, and many, many more. Resale activity due to really good lifestyle appeal there, and also that the projects are near completion or already done, so many people are actually flocking in there. For serious capital preservation and future-proof rental appeal, this area is one to watch in 2026 for sure. And while many of you might challenge me and say that you should have invested here many years ago, well, I kind of agree actually, because that's definitely true. If you would have invested a while ago, then you would have gotten better prices and so on. But you also had to wait pretty long time for the lagoon to be completed and the other nearby apartments, because honestly, 2 or 3 years ago when I went there, it already looked good. It definitely made investor sense. However, everything around was still in construction, so I wasn't really seeing how I can pay back my investment versus the other ready properties at that time. So if you're a cash buyer, once again, use your leverage and get into some really good ready deals. And if you're not, then probably definitely check out the mortgage options for the ready properties. I think that's something really interesting for you. And while I don't think the prices there will bump super more in the future, there will definitely be an increase. Don't get me wrong, the area is amazing once again. Now it will definitely rise on a more stable percentage year on year, and you will definitely see that capital appreciation, just not as you would have seen when you bought at the launch price. Nevertheless, nearby, Shobai is still launching many kind of towers and villa communities as well. There is the Shoba Heartland as well, where you already have many ready properties, and definitely there will be more to come on the other side of the road in Shoba Heartland too. So this area in general, the Meydan area, is one to watch. Nevertheless, each of these 5 areas offers a different investor angle, from off-plan villa plays to undervalued apartment resales or short-term ROI rental gems. The key is to align your move with your goal. If you need help understanding what fits your timeline, your risk profile, your budget, and your expected ROI, book a one-on-one call with me on the links below. Explore my advisory packages and sourcing service, where I find properties within your budget with no affiliations and no bias, and most importantly, with full transparency and financial literacy. And as always, don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. I hope that you did. Comment below all your thoughts, all your ideas and questions, and subscribe to see more of these videos in the future. But with that, I will see you in the next one.